This special episode of the Minding Your Business podcast is brought to you by the Binge Podcast Network and is sponsored and supported by Olivia Almagro. Thank you so much, Olivia, her public relations extraordinaire. Definitely connect with her on my Facebook, OD Almagro. And we really look forward to doing more with her. She's been a great support of the podcast and was actually on our 100th episode with me as sort of a co-host as we celebrated that 100th episode. But today we have a very, very special guest that I am extremely excited to have on today's show. So NYB community, I want you to stand up and I want you to give a round of applause for Miss Tracey Moss. Miss Tracey Moss is the celebrity TV and film hairstylist. She's the author of the new book that is on its way, Styling by Faith. And we want to make sure we support her in that. And you're going to get more information on that. But get ready for a great ride here with Tracey. Tracey, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. We're so glad for you to take time today on a Saturday to join us here on the Minding Your Business podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about being on your show today.
Excellent. And we're all excited too. So people have their iPads out. Looks like they got their pen and paper and they're ready to take some good notes and get some thumbs up and that sort of thing. So you ready to pour into the Minding Your Business community now?
I am ready. It's about to be 2020, so I'm so excited about getting everybody geared up for the new year.
Absolutely. And we definitely look for you to do that because you're the perfect person to do that for us. And so, Tracey, let's kind of start from the very beginning if we can. Tell us who Tracey Moss is.
Well, Tracey Moss is an author now, thankfully.
Yes.
I am a mother, and I am also I'm from Miami, Florida native. I left Miami and I moved to Atlanta, Georgia to pursue a college degree. I went to Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Woo!
And yes, I am a member of the Metro Atlanta National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club. I am also a member of the IATSE 798 Hair and Makeup Association as well.
All right. Excellent. And so, coming out of Morris Brown, how do you transition into what you're doing now? Walk us through that road of, kind of coming out of school. Because from what I understand in, reading more about your background, you actually left graduate school at one point to kind of pursue your passions and your dreams, Tracey. So, kind of walk us through that process.
Yes, I started off at Morris Brown and I got my bachelor's in business administration. After I left Morris Brown, I went directly and attended school at Clark Atlanta University to pursue a master's degree in human resources management. But it was along the way that I felt like I really, really wanted to pursue my passion. I felt like I had a God-given talent. My mom always said something about me doing hair. My friends in school, I always did their hair. In high school, I was the go-to girl at Morris Brown for doing hair. And as I got entry-level positions at Clark and Morris Brown, it was something inside of me that would not allow me to stop to take that leap and going to hair school. So I went to hair school, and because I'm so glad that I went to college, because going to college allowed me a foundation. It gave me the wisdom and insight to not start from the very, very bottom.
Yeah.
I had the degree. I had student loans, and I also had bills that came every 30 days.
Right.
So the first day, yes, it was real. It was a real life situation.
Right.
So first day that I entered into hair school, my mind was set to succeed. I already set my will. I set my dial that I was going to be a successful professional hairstylist.
Yeah, and I love that. Were your folks, because it sounds like your mom would have been very supportive of you. Did you find your mom and your family very supportive of you in that transition?
My mom was supportive of me, but my mom was kind kind of feeling a certain kind of way because she saw the talent in me before I went to grad school and undergrad. And so after she spent all her money with me in college, then that's when I made the phone call and was like, Mom, I think I want to go to hair school. And of course, you know, her response was like, what? Hair school now? But yeah, she had been supporting me from the very first day that she realized that hair was something that she knew that I was going to end up going the hair direction.
Yep, absolutely. And then Tracey, you also co-owned a very popular hair salon for several years. Yes. Is that right?
Yes, I co-owned a hair salon in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It was called 360 Degrees Salon.
Okay.
And I had two other partners when I did that. I co-owned the salon for 8 years.
Okay.
And that's a very, very great experience also because it was something totally different from having your own salon and being a hairstylist. Having your own salon does not give you the freedom like just being a hairstylist. It's a whole lot of more business things that you have to deal with.
Right.
So,
yeah.
By me going to college and getting that business administration degree, that's when the whole thing kicked in for me when I had the salon. So that experience was amazing, and I'm glad that I took that path and went that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you transitioned from, having the very popular hair salon there, 360 Degrees. And so how do you get to where you do your first TV gig? Because I'll tell you that there's a lot of folks in the MYB community that are really interested in following the path that you've kind of blazed, Tracey. And I imagine that one of the questions is, how do they get to that point? How do you position yourself? How do you create the right mindset? And how do you have the tenacity to be able to do that? Because, everybody's not doing that. I'll tell you and I both know that. And so, walk through kind of how you got your first TV gig doing hair.
Well, like I said earlier, when I entered beauty school, I knew that I was going to be a hairstylist that made a difference in the hair world. I already set my will for that. The first thing that I had to do was to network. Networking was key to me because every entity of hair that I went in, whether it was being an educator, whether it was doing theatrical hair, whether it was doing music videos, whether it was a salon ownership, no one knew each other. Like, they were all total different entities. They were all different organizations. So the CEOs and the leaders of each group were different. So networking for me, communicating with like-minded people, being in certain organizations that allowed them to be an extension of me and my growth was very vital for me.
Absolutely.
And that was something that once I did that and once I got into these organizations, because I was blinded, I did not know the path. I didn't have the answers, and I didn't know the people to get me to my dreams, to get me to where I wanted to be. So networking and, like I said, getting with organizations and getting with people that are like myself or that like where I wanted to go, that was a very, very vital part for me. And once I got there were certain traits, there were certain things about me that I had to maintain as far as being on time, as far as integrity,
yes,
as far as having a personality,
yes,
as far as being able to be approachable so that people, opening yourself so that people can assist you. Those were the things that I saw, that because you can go, it's a funny thing. A client and I, she was a producer, and she made a bet with me that I was supposed to go to an organization go to a party with her, but it was a networking party, and I had to pass out 10 business cards when I was there.
Okay.
Because so many times we go places and we stand in a corner and we're by ourselves. Well, the purpose was networking, and she made me stand to that. So that was one thing that I definitely had to learn was maximizing my space and maximizing the people that I was in contact with.
Absolutely. And I'm sure right now, 10 of y'all here in MYB community just shouted from what Tracey just shared. In terms of having personality, having the perseverance, and even more so than that, networking, putting yourself in the right positions around the right type of people. And we've talked about this MYB several times on different episodes, and Tracey's confirming it for you. You have to be around the right people. You have to get out and network, and you have to be able to connect and challenge yourself, as Tracey did, and she had an accountability partner that helped her with that. Our guest today, Tracey Moss, celebrity TV and film hairstylist and author of Styling by Faith, which we'll talk about shortly. Tracey, what are some different films that you have worked on so far?
I've worked on so many TV shows and films I'm so proud of, and I'm so excited about being a part of these shows and film. More recently, Bad Boys 3. With Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. I was a key hairstylist on that film, and it's coming out January 17th. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So highly anticipated. I'm still on a high from working on that.
Oh, I bet.
Yes, but Shaft with Samuel Jackson, Black Panther, that was an amazing experience.
Yes.
We were doing things on that movie that I had never seen before.
Wow.
So I was on that movie working outside of my comfort zone. It was an amazing experience. Captain America, Guardian of the Galaxy. There are many, Godzilla was another great movie that I worked in, because there's so many different entities of hair that involves these movies. So those were, just to name a few, those were some of the film that I worked on.
Yep, absolutely. And those are all, you're talking about major blockbuster films that have a lot of accountability to it. There's going to be a lot of eyes and ears to them. And all films, quite frankly, that I've seen that I really enjoyed and me and my family enjoyed. I tell you, I went to see Black Panther probably 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
And just enjoyed that. And so that kind of leads me to my next question then, Tracey. How important is your role behind the scenes? Because, when you see those type of movies, obviously you got the actors and actresses that, stand out and shine. But many people just have no clue as to the preparation and all the slew of great people like yourself that help bring that, to the screen for those of us in the audience. And so how important is that role to you?
The role behind the scenes, I would have to say, is almost, I won't say it is as important, but I would say it's as equally important as the role for the actors in front of the screen.
I agree.
Because behind the scene, the people behind the scene, there is already a stage set for how they want the movie to look. There's already producers and directors. They have their vision. The creatives, they have their vision. The actors, they have their vision of what they want to look like and how they want to perform. By the time you get to the glam squad, which is me, hair, makeup, and wardrobe, we're the last to get hired. So therefore, it's totally important for us to listen, to know the vision, to know the plan, to know what they want it to look like moving forward, so that we could combine our expertise with what was already set.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not that we just go in and decide this is how. It's totally, you have to take all egos away as a hairstylist.
Yes, and that's a critical piece, and I hope MYB you're taking notes on that with what Tracey just said. In order to progress and have success and then be called back, because it's one thing if you did one film right, Tracey? But then
Right.
when you're getting called back for additional ones, it's because you're able to do things that may seem insignificant at first, but checking your ego at the door and coming in and understanding. And you heard Tracey use the word vision. That is so critical across all business fronts, but certainly in this space, you have to check your ego and you have to understand the vision and then be able to execute. I love when you said that, Tracey. That really hit home even for myself.
One thing I would like to say in that area is once you create a business plan, sometimes you deviate from the business plan. Like for instance, in TV and film, we have edits. We have where they change the scripts to make the script flow well. But you always have to remember to go back to the business plan so it can keep you on the path, keep you on the journey of where you're trying to get to. Because that business plan was those initial raw thoughts.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's your map. That's your guide
Exactly.
to getting to where you go. And like any destination or any journey, there'll be deviations and things like that. But if you can always go back to your map, so you can remember, before we had all these devices and we'd be traveling, say, for example, Tracey, you and I are traveling, one of us is going to have a map, right? One of us is driving, the other one has a map. And even if we get off road a little bit, we can always go back to that map. And so that's critical, MYB, in your business. Thank you for sharing that, Tracey.
No problem.
How has teaching and educating others impacted your career? I imagine there's a lot of consultation, obviously, in what you do, when you're talking about glam and you talk about ensuring that people's appearances are what they're intended to be and what they should be to give them the best show and the best light and to develop the best confidence. How has that, the teaching and educating piece of what you do, been impactful for your career?
The teaching and educating piece is very impactful for my career because it helps allow me to know the need. Educating, you have to be a great listener.
Yes.
In order to know what you're going to deliver. Teaching also, you have to do your research before you present yourself, before you start teaching, before you start educating. So you consistently educating yourself, but you also have to know what need it is that you're fulfilling.
Exactly.
So educating to me is a very humbling. It keeps me transparent because although I teach, although I can educate, I'm no different than no one else that I'm speaking with. I started in the same places that other entrepreneurs started. I started in the same places that other beauty professionals started. So along the way, I had to always remember to listen and to lead by example. And that's how it impacted my life.
And one of the things that I hear the humbleness in your talk, Tracey. And one of the things that stood out with what you said was, and looking at your background and your bio, I mean, you're someone you've had clients that are at the top of their profession. I mean, when you talk about a Gabrielle Union and some of these folks that are in these various Marvel movies, and you talked about Bad Boys 3. I mean, you're talking about A and B list celebrities. It would be very easy for you, and you've probably seen this in your industry, to be very callous and maybe very short-sighted and become, very inflated with your ego. And one of the things that amazes me with what you're presenting, and when you hear from other people that are like you, that have that same mindset, is the tenacity around getting things done, but then the humbleness to continue not just to educate others, but then to learn yourself. Where does that come from? Because to me, that's a skill. I would refer to that, in my opinion, as a skill. And not everybody has that skill.
Well, for me, I remain humble because you cannot get anywhere alone.
Right.
Someone has to hire you. Someone has to refer you. You can only go from one place to the next place. And I spoke about networking. Someone has to, it's always someone linking up with you. I have bosses when doing these films. One person can't make a film.
Right.
So I have a boss that hire me. I have a boss that refer me to different movies or different TV shows or for different actors. So that's what keeps me humble to know that I cannot do this alone. And trying to do it alone is just, it's mind blowing for me.
Yeah.
Some people are self-made. Me personally, I am not self-made. I'm very grateful for every individual that has lended me a hand, that's gave me a job, that has helped me along the way.
Yep, absolutely, and definitely dig that. Tracey, how important is family? We talked about family and the support of you kind of coming up. How important is family today and their support of what you're doing now with your business and that sort of thing? How important is that for you?
Family is everything in my field because we are on set for 14, 15 hours a day. And it takes a toll on spouses. It takes a toll on children. It takes a toll on health. It takes a toll on everything as far as there have been so many things that I've missed from my friends, from their kids, graduations, baby showers, because I'm on set making a film. So family to me is my root. Family is everything to me, and I thank God that my family understand my route and they support me, encourage me, and when I have a break between movies, I try to do all that I can do with them, and I continually let them know, I'm very thankful for it because it's not easy in my field having a family.
Yeah, absolutely. I could only just imagine the challenges that it creates. And so you definitely salute to you and others who are able to balance that as best that you can and really engage and include your family. I think that's phenomenal in all honesty, because I could just imagine, even with what I do, I travel some and in my banking and in my real estate business, it takes me away from family at times, but nothing to the level of what you're doing, for sure, Tracey. So definitely hats off to that as we're in this holiday season. My guest today, Tracey Moss, celebrity TV and film hairstylist, and she's the author of Styling by Faith, a celebrity TV and film hairstylist guide to securing a win. Securing a win. I know many of us are looking to do that and more here in 2020. So, Tracey, tell me about the new book. When can we expect it? And, why did you decide to write the book? Kind of tell us a little bit about it.
Styling by Faith came about because it's first of all, it's a book based on my personal journey, and it gives you tips and assisting mapping out strategic plan for an individual that want to reach their goal. I decided to write this book because it was from me sitting in the salon for 10 years, working with so many people, so many ages. I was always doing something outside of the salon. I just never was the hairstylist in the salon, working behind the chair. I was always freelancing as well. And there were so many people that always asked me about my career. There were so many I had college girls. Being in Atlanta, the agency, I had a lot of college girls. I had women that had been in their job for a very, very long time that wanted to do something else. And I also had women like myself that took a route, that started on a route and decided to take another route. But they would ask me all the time to talk to them, to help them get to where they needed to get to talk to their nieces or talk to their nephews about my career or about helping them get to their destination. And also, in the salon, I was always that person uplifting and encouraging people.
Yes.
My thing is birthing gifts. I love to try to help someone birth a gift. It's a seed inside of you. Let's go ahead and see how we can get that seed to birth it. So that's how I came about writing a book. I was talking to a friend of mine, and instead of, I didn't have time anymore to make these phone calls to try to talk to so many people. I do it, but the time limited. So she was like, Tracey, why don't you write a book?
Yes.
And by me not being an English major, by me not, I'm a hairstylist, so I didn't see myself at first being able to write a book. But as I continue to write, the words poured out, I realized I believed myself. I believed my journey, and I saw that I had something to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I can relate to that, Tracey, because I started this podcast for that exact same reason. I would get people that would come to me for different advice. I would consult with people, and I'd feel bad because I wanted to always make sure I could dedicate enough time and undivided attention, quite frankly, to people. And I found I couldn't always do that with all my ripping and running. And, I'm kind of talking to people on the fly, and I would feel bad because I didn't feel like I was giving everybody the consistency of my listening to ears. And kind of like I mentioned to you offline, I wasn't a communications major or anything like that. Didn't come up through those ranks, and so I wasn't sure about that. And so when I wrote my book and started the podcast, it was for those exact same reasons that you just mentioned. So, man, I love that because I can really relate to what you're saying on many fronts. So definitely thank you for that. When can we expect the book?
You can expect the book the top of January 2020. January 5th, the first wave of books will be going out. I'm excited about that. And Styling by Faith can be purchased on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all media outlets. So I'm so super excited about starting my new year off with that. Yeah,
absolutely. At NYB, you should be excited. We don't have to wait long now. You see, Tracey's got it coming starting January 5th. So, as she mentioned, on all the book outlets and Amazon, be looking for this book, Styling by Faith by Tracey Moss. Go ahead and look for it. Go ahead and put it in your shopping carts and that sort of thing when you see it, and then make the purchase and then read it. And then as you come across things, connect with Tracey and share your thoughts and share your feedback. Take pictures of the book, you with the book, and send them, inbox those to Tracey so she can have those, so we can show our support for the book. I'll be doing the same. So leadership here, I'll be doing the exact same thing. Tracey, so you're providing us some great information here. You're providing us a great book to start off 2020. As 2019 comes to an end, aside from the book, what are some of your, 2 or 3 kind of top level goals or things you want to accomplish in 2020?
Well, for 2020, the top level, for one goal in January, the end of January, I will be working with 10 women transitioning from being homeless. And I will be partnering up with a nonprofit organization to help these women get back into the working field, empowering them, uplifting them, and just, again, sharing my story. I'll be doing their hair so that they can look good and feel good about getting back, to get back into these, the working field.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll be doing that at the top of the year. At the top of the year, also, I'm also the key hairstylist for one of Aretha Franklin's movies. She has 2 movies coming out now. One of them, it is on will be at the theaters with Jennifer Hudson. I will not be doing that one. I'll be doing the other one with Cynthia. But yes, the other, she was a biopic.
Yeah, I know which one you're referring to. Because exactly. It's hard to keep all the names top, but I know exactly one that you're mentioning.
Yeah, so I'll be the key hairstylist on that. So that'll keep me busy for a minute. And after that, I will be promoting the book and being on other podcasts, and you'll see me around, see me on social media, and I'll be promoting the book.
Yep, excellent. Yeah, so it sounds like you've got 2020 under wraps, and you've got a clear vision, and definitely with you helping the women holistically, and from going from homelessness to elevating and leveling them up. Shout out to you for that, because that's a great effort, and MYB, I think we all should be engaged to some level in that sort of effort. I know there's needs all around the country, and when we're in position to be resources to others and show love to others, we should do just that. And so, as we get to where we wrap up, Tracey, take me back if you've had this day, and maybe you haven't, but a lot of people have very difficult days. They have challenging days and there's that one day where you may get to where you say, you know what, I just can't do this anymore. What am I doing? F this. I'm going back to whatever I was doing before. Did you have that day? And if you did, what kept you going?
Yes, I have had those days where I have been on I've been on a movie or something for 3 or 4 months and working Monday through Friday from 13 to 14, 15 hours a day. And also, I have a 4-year-old.
Okay.
So his days are very unpredictable. I have a family, so everyone has needs. And trying to push on. Some days you don't feel good, and you gotta perform once you get to work. And sometimes, although it seems like a person's world is all together, sometimes those needs, much is given, much is required.
Yes.
So sometimes financially, it don't always match up to what we feel like it should. And those were the days when I felt like, you know what? I am about to give this up. I got to try a new route because this is not working for me.
Right.
But what kept me going is when you look back on where you were and look back on where you are today.
Yes.
That is what keeps me going. I wasn't the person that I was 10 years ago. Although I was doing things, as far as everything in my journey has kept me going, has empowered me, has taken me to another level, has educated me. So the person that I was 10 years ago, I'm no longer that person.
Right.
So I continually thank God for blessing me, although sometimes it's difficult, but I give him all the thanks for blessing me for where I am today. And that is what he have not left me or forsaken me, so I won't leave or forsake myself.
And that's, there it is. And there it is. And that's a great way to kind of wrap that up, that particular thought in best practice, because there's nothing without that. And there's nothing without that mindset, and without that support, and without the tie to your spirituality and how important that is to our lives. And so, listen, Tracey, I can't express my thanks enough for you taking time out on today with all the things that you have going on to be here on the Minding Your Business podcast. I thank you so much. And how can people connect with you on social media?
People can connect with me through Tracey Moss Hair, Tracey Moss, Moss, Hair, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yeah, excellent. And so just to repeat that for everybody, at Tracey Moss Hair, Tracey Mosshair. Make sure that you go out, connect with her, mention that you heard her on the Minding Your Business podcast, and that you look forward to her book, and just send her some words of encouragement, because what you'll find is the energy that you give out is the energy you'll get back. And as you're building your business and that sort of thing, it's great to connect with people like Tracey that's going to give you a good word, and give her a good word as well, and make that a bi-directional thing as you establish a relationship. So Tracey, again, thank you so much, girl. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you for what you're doing in the community. Thank you what you're doing for those that are in film and TV and how they bring that art to us as the consumer. Thank you for staying steadfast in your business and tying that with your family and balancing it all. I've got 3 daughters here, 9, 8, and 7. I know what that is to juggle.
Yes.
So, yeah, no doubt about it. And so definitely shout out to you. I love to remain connected. If you find I can be a resource, definitely communicate with me. But let me say this. I want to wish you and your family a happy and prosperous 2020.
Thank you. Likewise.
Yeah, thank you so much. And again, we'll remain connected. And MYB, her contact information as far as social media will be in the show notes. So you'll be able to see that. So go in the show notes, click. It'll take you right to her pages. And you can get plugged in with Tracey Moss, our guest today, celebrity TV and film hairstylist, author of Styling by Faith. Bless you, Tracey. I look forward to connecting with you, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, excellent. Bye, Tracey. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Wasn't that phenomenal, MYB? Here's a sister that has come up kind of through the ranks, and again, you can get to a lot of different areas in life. But Tracey is someone that in just a quick amount of time I've developed a great respect for, and even talking with her offline. I invite you to connect with her at Tracey Moss Hair on social media. Connect with her and make sure you get the book Styling by Faith, a celebrity TV and film hairstylist guide to securing a win. MYB, thank you so much for listening on this special episode. You can connect with me, Ron, at themybpodcast.com. Make sure you don't forget to get your t-shirt. There's no business like minding your own on themybpodcast.com/shop. You can still get your shirt, $19.99. There's a choice of 7 different colors. Size is small, the XXL. Free shipping on those shirts right now. You never know where I may decide to kick in the shipping. So make sure you get it right now. Your choice of 7 different colors. Get those quick and sport your t-shirt. Of course, we're brought to you by the Minding Your Business podcast is brought to you by the Binge Podcast Network. Shout out to all the shows. Let's Be Real, Just Blurtin', Nothing But Buckets. And definitely our flagship show, the Startup Life Podcast by Dominic Lawson. Make sure that you check him out. The StartupLifePodcast.com is where you can check out his podcast. And you can go to the Binge site, onabinge.com. Entrepreneurship, real estate, trending news. There's no business like minding your own. I'm your host, Champ Ron. This is the Minding Your Business Podcast.
What we do here is go back.
Buckle up, because Metro is bringing you the best deal in wireless. Switch to Metro and get your choice of 2 awesome free phones from top brands like Samsung and LG with huge HD screens and tons of memory for all your pics and videos. So hurry into Metro and get your awesome free phones only at Metro. Plus sales tax and activation fee. Requires port-in of eligible number not currently active on T-Mobile network or active on Metro in past 90 days. Limit 4 per account or household. Restrictions apply. See store for details and terms and conditions.